Good afternoon, my dear students. Myself, Dr. Jyoti Olkar from Jyoti PU College, Belgaum. Today, I would like to discuss first second year biology syllabus. Students, this year you have to study remaining 5 units of biology. The first 5 units you have already studied in your first year PUC. This year, we have to study the remaining 5 units, that is Unit 6, Reproduction, 7th, Genetics, 8th one, Human Health, 9th one, Biotechnology, and 10th one, Ecology. So these are the 5 units, 6 to 10, we have to study this year for second year biology portion. Today, I would like to start with the Unit 9, Biotechnology. I have selected this unit because the chapters belonging to this unit, they are quite interesting also. And you will understand also when you study the topic more confidently. According to me, the learning process will be completed when the student will able to answer different types of the questions. The questions may be simple or twisted. So you must able to understand the concept clearly. So you can answer the different types of the questions. Now coming to the unit, here Unit 9, Biotechnology, 11 marks. Total weightage of this unit is 11 marks. Under this unit, chapter number 11, Biotechnology, Principle and Processes, 6 marks. Today we are going to study the Biotechnology, Principle and Processes, 6 marks. According to the syllabus, we must know 3 points. The 3 points are chapter number 11, 11.1, Principles of Biotechnology, 11.2, Tools of Recombinant DNA Technology, and 11.3, Process of Recombinant DNA Technology. So you have to concentrate principle, tools and processes of the recombinant DNA technology. To understand these 3 points, it is necessary the introduction. Next. So here, in the introduction, you have to remember the definition. Definition means you have to remember as it is. So here, biotechnology deals with technique of using living organisms or enzymes from the organism to make the products and processes that benefits the human being. So here, the European Federation of Biotechnology, EFB, they have also given the definition, the integration of natural science and organisms, cells, parts thereof, and molecular analogues for the products and services. Next. So here, if you think on this definition, you will get an idea regarding the examples of modern biotechnology. Here, in today's computerized world, you can see that in vitro fertilization, that is the test tube baby, in vitro, in the laboratory, the fertilization occur. In vivo means inside, in vitro means outside. So that is an example of modern biotechnology. The other one is synthesis of gene correction. Defective genes can be removed and functional gene can be replaced. And developing the DNA vaccines. These are nothing but the examples of modern biotechnology. And the scientists behind this modern biotechnology is Boyer. He extracted restriction endonuclease from E. coli. E. coli, it is the name of the bacteria. And Cohen, discovery of the plasmid. So here in the introduction point, you have to remember scientist name and the definition as well as examples. Next. Then comes the main point, principles of biotechnology. So here there are two core techniques, main techniques of modern biotechnology. The main techniques are, the first one is genetic engineering and the second one is maintenance of sterile conditions during the process. So first one, genetic engineering means what? Here in this process, the genetic makeup of an organism is altered. Genetic makeup means DNA or RNA, and due to that, phenotype of the organism changes. Phenotype means external character. Remember, phenotype means external appearance, genotype means genetic makeup. So in this genetic engineering, there is a alter in the genetic material. So phenotype of the organism changes. Next, maintenance of the sterile conditions. So when during the process, you have to maintain the sterile conditions. Sterile means microbial contaminated condition should not enter, so that the chemical engineer process will go smoothly and you can get the good results. So these are the two core techniques, genetic engineering and maintenance of sterile ambience in chemical engineering process. Next. Then the next point is basic steps in GMO. GMO, genetically modified organisms. Organisms means it may be a plant or it may be an animal. So there are three steps are there. The first one is identification of DNA with desirable genes. You have to identify the DNA in which the desirable genes are present. The second is introduction of identified DNA into the host. You have to introduce that identified DNA into the host. And third one is maintenance of introduced DNA into the host and transfer of DNA into its progeny. Progeny means next generation. So these are the three basic steps to achieve the success in GMO, genetically modified organisms. Next. So here, the next point is tools of recombinant DNA technology. Tools. Tools means what instruments you require for the process. And there are 4 different types of the tools are required. The first ones are enzymes. Which enzymes are required? Restriction enzymes and DNA ligases. Restriction enzymes are called as the molecular scissors. They can cut the DNA at specific sites, whereas DNA ligases, they can join the DNA fragments. So both type of the enzymes are required. Second is cloning vectors. Vector required is PBR322. This is an artificial plasmid. Vector means vehicle to carry the genes. The third is competent host. Host is E. coli, that is a bacteria, but you have to make it competent. And the Last is bioreactor. Bioreactor means the large steel container in which the process will run. So, 4 types of the tools are required. Generally in the exam, the question will come, mention the different types of the tools required in recombinant DNA technology. So students, you have to mention the enzyme names also. If you just mention the enzymes and without mentioning particularly, no marks will be allowed. So which enzyme? Restriction enzymes. Then which vector? PBR322. Like that way, you have to remember. Next. Now, regarding the restriction enzymes, just now I've told you it is called as a molecular scissors. And why it is called as a molecular scissors? Because they can cut the DNA at specific locations. And naming of the restriction endonuclease, here you will find the first letter indicates the generic name, second 2 letter species name, the third letter indicates the strain, and the last Roman number, it is the order in which enzyme were isolated from the strain of bacteria. So here, with the help of this example, you can remember what are these E. coli, that is Escherichia coli R1, that is a strain. Next. Then there are 2 types of restriction endonucleases, exonucleases and endonucleases. Exonucleases, they cut the DNA at the ends, whereas endonucleases, they cut at specific position within the DNA molecule. Within the DNA molecule and at the ends of the DNA molecule. Depending upon the position, they may be exonucleases or endonucleases. Next. Then, one more important thing is that this restriction endonucleases, they are palindromic sequence. Means what? The sequence will read same in both directions. That is the forward and backward. If you observe these words, you can see the spelling is the same. Malayalam, Gadag. Like that way, here you will find the palindromic sequence which reads same in DNA. And here you will find the 5-3 and 3-5, the sequence which read the same in both the directions. Next. Now, the next is vector, cloning vector. Here, this is the cloning vector PBR322. See the diagram. Generally, the diagram will ask for 3 marks. And here in this diagram, you have to show origin of replication, ORI, then selectable markers are there. These are the 2 marker genes. Then cloning sites are there and vectors for the cloning genes you will find they are present, and there are particularly 2 types of the cloning genes present in plants and animals differently. This is the diagram of showing PBR322, the restriction site, antibiotic resistant genes, and the rope which codes for protein involved in the replication of the plasmid. Next. Then the host. The host is E. coli. What is this E. coli? Escherichia coli, it is a bacteria. And in that bacteria, to make that bacteria competent, 4 types of the treatments are there. The first is the chemical treatment. Bacteria cell is treated with calcium to make them competent. Second is microinjection. In the microinjection process, recombinant DNA is directly injected into the nucleus of animal cell. That is called as a microinjection. Third one is gene gun or bioelastic method, in which plant cells are bombarded with high velocity microparticles of gold or tungsten coated with recombinant DNA technology. And the fourth one is disarm pathogen. So Agrobacterium tumefaciens in plant and retrovirus in animals these are used, and these are the four different types of the methods to make the host competent. That is called as a competent host. So host can accept that recombinant DNA. Next. Now the fourth point is bioreactors. Generally the bioreactors are large steel containers in which the process will go on. In this bioreactors, the raw material is converted into the desired product. And there are two types of bioreactor: simple steel tank bioreactor and sparge steel tank bioreactor. And generally in the exam, the diagram will ask to draw. Labeling is equally important. So these are the two types of the bioreactors. If you visit any industry, you will find a large steel containers. That is nothing but the heart of the industry itself, in which the process will go. So here the bioreactors are equally important. So in this tools, you must know the brief account of each tool: enzymes, restriction endonucleases, then the PBr322, then how the host can be made competent, and the bioreactors. So here today we have covered the first 2 points, that is 11.1 and 11.2. In my next class, we'll study how the process will take place. With this, I will stop here. Thank you.